سيد المرسلين نبينا محمد صلى الله تعالى عليه وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وسلم تسليما كثيرا. In the name of Allah, the cherisher and the sustainer of the universe, peace and blessings of Allah be upon His noble Prophet and Messenger Muhammad, his household and followers, and all those who follow the path of Allah to the day of Qiyamah. Viewers, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to special edition of Good Evening Ghana. I am in the hot seat, a very, very hot seat, on behalf of our seasoned and renowned senior colleague, Paul Adumochri. We are grateful to Paul Adumochri for dedicating to this program, especially for the Muslims viewers. Thank you very much, Paul. To sit or to wear your shoe is a very big issue. But I hope you support me spiritually, able to discharge my duty very well. Viewers, yesterday, Ramadan officially ended. Yesterday and today, officially, the National Chief Imam led Eid prayers at what's the name of the park?
Star Square.
The Black Star Square. And Alhamdulillah, Muslims in Ghana officially ended their fasting with the Eid celebration. All over the world, about 2 billion or close to 2 billion Muslims have also officially ended the fast. Now, today we are looking at Ramadan in retrospect. And we want to understand the holy month of Ramadan and then the activities in the month. To help me do this, I have two very important personalities. These personalities seated on my far right. In Islam, we always start from the right. Seated on my far right is our brother Al-Haji Inusa Muhammad. If you like, you can add Al-Haji Baba Inusa Muhammad. Very familiar face in the Muslim community. Inusa Muhammad is a principal clerk of parliament, but he heads a lot of committees, social cluster committees. He is also the secretary to the Muslim caucus in parliament, and then also the president of the Muslim Staff Association of Parliament. Interestingly, Alhaji Baba is also the vice chairman of the Zakat and Sadaqah Trust Fund of Ghana. And as if that is not all, he is also the acting general secretary of the National Muslim Conference. Alhaji Baba, Barka de Sallah, Eid Mubarak, and welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Imam Abbas.
Good. Seated at my far left is Sheikh Imam Abdul Hamid Kishki, the son of the renowned Muslim preacher. They call him the ambassador, Sheikh Bashir Yandu. That's the son. Sheikh Kishk, well experienced, has over a decade experience as Imam, though young. His background solid. Sharia first degree, and then MPhil to Sharia. He didn't tell me, but I found out that he has enrolled for his PhD wish him well. Now, Sheikh Abdul Hamid Kishki, while travel, he's been travel across Africa and then United States, engage in religious dialogue, and then also in interfaith dialogue, and then also he advocates for moderate dawah, and then the elimination of extremism, violent extremism in our dawah system, or the propagation of Islam. So Sheikh Kishk, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
I want to ask whether you did your Eid yesterday or today. I only want the two of you to tell me your impression about Eid, where you prayed. I don't need the day, but whether you prayed yesterday or today. How was Eid for you and your family?
Inshallah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. All praise and all thanks be to God Almighty Allah, Creator, the nourisher and sustainer of the universe, in whose name we are seated here to deliberate on a pillar of Islam and what comes after it. And indeed, Eid marks the end and the beginning of Ramadan and the beginning, if you like, a new season of life for the Muslim Ummah. I think Eid, for some time now, or for some years, Ghanaian Muslims, we have had to live with Eid in its different manifestations that it has presented itself to us. And then the manifestation is our inability as Ummah to even agree with ourselves as to what sort of system we can put in place to be able to agree with each other as to what particular day collectively we can observe Eid so that we get to benefit from exactly what the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam wants us to benefit, as far as coming out together in a particular period of time, and to use the season of Eid or its observance to demonstrate our presence in the various communities that we live in a manner that is more even demonstrable than what the Statistical Service of Ghana can present to the people of Ghana. But unfortunately, because of our inability to settle with ourselves for whatever reason, I really don't know. We have found ourselves in this situation. I observed Eid this year on 2 days. When I say that, I observe Eid as a nafila on a particular day and celebrate Eid as another day still available for me to celebrate. As you can see us sitting here, we're still in the mood of celebrating Eid. I was lucky yesterday. I had to observe my Eid at Parliament House yesterday. Yeah, my own office environment. And I did that alongside many other Muslims, and it continued into today. And as a matter of the people of jurisprudence are here, I'm yet to really find out a particular ruling. Yeah, that will, yeah.
Was okay for you? Everything was all right?
For myself and my family, it was okay. In fact, we continue today, and we enjoy it even more today.
I still have a bowl of rice to eat from the. Baba is very close to me. Sheikh, how was your Eid?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله أما بعد. Unfortunately, Eid wasn't palatable to me this year. I lost a neighbor on the eve of Eid, a young man that happens to be the Imam of our mosque. He has been sick during the month of Ramadan, and on the night before Eid, actually I prayed on Monday. So on Sunday evening, around 10 p.m., I was called to come and see his situation was not well. So we took him to the hospital, but even in the house, he was dead. I realized he was dead, but I wanted to confirm from medical experts. So we took him to the hospital, and then the doctors confirmed that we brought to them a dead body. So that very night, around 11 p.m., we took him back home, and then we prepared the body. And then in the morning, right at the Eid grounds, we had the Janaza prayer, and then we took him to the...
Oh, you brought him to the Eid ground?
Yes.
Wonderful.
The idea was that if we were to let people go and pray Eid at the places they're going to pray, and then they later come to our place for Janaza, it's going to be too much for people that day. So we agreed to take him to the Eid ground. So after the Eid prayer, we had the Janaza prayer. For the Janaza prayer, we went straight to the cemetery to bury him. I came home and I locked myself in the room because 25-year-old boy. And so our home for the past 2 days, 2 families, we share a wall, but there is a door between the 2 homes where we enter on each other anytime and anyhow we want. We've developed that bond, and it struck us. What we prepared for Eid, we've not been able to do it. So it just reminds me of what the Almighty Allah says, that innahu adhaka wa abka. He's the one who will make you laugh, at the same time make you cry. So Eid came with this feeling. I don't know, I've never even thought of it that on the day of Eid I'll go to the cemetery. Never ever crossed my mind, but this time around it happened. I just want to use this opportunity to draw the minds and attention of all of us that this life is transient. At any moment we can go. But the most important thing is, let's leave behind good blueprints that tomorrow will be remembered with. The mosque that he leads in this Ramadan, they didn't have tahajjud because he's not available. So we remember him with that. What are we going to remember with if we depart tomorrow?
Okay, thank you very much. Let me remain with you once again. If we say Ramadan, what does Ramadan actually mean? And then we know the fasting of Ramadan. Fasting is also legislated in Ramadan. So what does Ramadan means, and what is the ruling on, Sharia ruling on fasting in Ramadan?
Islam has 5 pillars, and each pillar has its connotation. The first pillar is professing the word, which is general for everybody. The second pillar is the salat that you see us do 5 times a day. It is for everybody. The third one is giving of alms. That has restrictions. Not everybody can give alms. The fourth one is the fasting, and not everybody can fast. There are exemptions to the rule. So Ramadan is a special month in the Islamic calendar. That is the 9th month of the Islamic calendar. The Islamic calendar also has 12 months, like the Julian Gregorian calendar. But then we use the moon in the calculation of our months, and the Julian Gregorian calendar uses the sun. So the 9th month has been, specified for fasting. The idea is that we want to get closer to the Almighty Allah. For 11 months, we've been doing all that we want. We've been eating. We've been doing everything that we want. But then the Almighty Allah, specified this month for us so that we'll cleanse ourselves both physically and spiritually. He doesn't want us to have just one full year not having a deliberate, conscious effort of getting closer to Him. So He stipulated this month that use this month as a means whereby you come back into your senses, worship the Almighty Allah sincerely and deliberately. So this is the idea behind the month of Ramadan. Fasting has been stipulated in there because of the spiritual benefits of fasting. It suppresses the evil desires of the soul. It makes you closer to the Almighty. And there's also physical, effects or benefits of fasting that the medical doctors will tell us. But then in essence, the month of Ramadan is a time where the Almighty Allah says, I want you to use this month to get closer to me. So you realize that in the month of Ramadan, Muslims are at the peak of their powers spiritually, because you don't eat, you don't drink, you don't have sexual, relations with your spouse. Let me repeat, with your spouse, because Islam only recognizes sexual intimacy with your spouse. And then, apart from that, there are some things that must be done. That is guarding your tongue. That is not everything that comes out of your mouth. Even before the month of Ramadan, Muslims are encouraged or urged to check what comes out of their mouth. But then, the encouragement or the advocacy is higher in the month of Ramadan, because we want you to have a very, very nice relationship, not only with the Almighty, but also with fellow human beings. Speak nice to them, be gentle with them, be nice to them. So basically, Ramadan is the month where the Almighty Allah says, this is a workshop where I want you to come closer to me, where I want you to be nice, where I want you to be spiritual, where I want you to be strong.
So let me come to you, Alayuba. I know your background in study of religion. Me, I do research the background of people. So you don't carry the title Sheikh, but as a Muslim, if I ask you to explain a day of fasting, how does it look like? Hope you get my question.
I get your question.
Good.
And I just...
What does it mean to fast in a day as a Muslim?
Yeah, and just picking from where Sheikh just landed with the whole idea, because it will definitely zero itself to the day.
No.
And trying to have a much more deeper understanding of the holy month of Ramadan. And I refer to the holy month of Ramadan as the month of schooling.
Okay.
The month that establishes the distinction between the is and the ought. What ought to be the life of a Muslim and the actual life he is really living. So it is not even as if it is just in the holy month of Ramadan that Almighty Allah desires you to come closer to Him. It is your entire lifetime. When you profess to be a Muslim, this is how your life ought to be. We are challenged by circumstances around our environment, physical issues, sometimes even spiritual, leadership, political, economic, social, religious. All these things have given a lot of load to mankind, that how things ought to be has escaped us. Because sometimes we have to put a halt to the ought to attend to the is. And in this process, we begin to feel lesser and we begin to feel weaker in our ability to live this ideal life that Almighty Allah has established for us. And Ramadan is the month in which it's like Almighty Allah reminding you that this thing that you think, because of the socio-economic, political, and religious circumstances in which you have found yourself, you cannot still live it. I want to prove to you that you can live it. And the proof takes place in the holy month of Ramadan, where the ought life become a compulsion for you to live it, because there are penalties for not what? Living it.
No.
Stronger penalties for not living it. So when you exercise it within the period of the 1 month, the 9th month that has been chosen, and then you begin to challenge yourself and tell yourself that all those obstacles that you see are your creation, and the creation of your own mindset, and that it is possible to put your thoughts, your minds, your energy, your spirit, and everything together and marshal all the forces to stand against all these obstacles and challenges that make us. So the day that a Muslim gain in the holy month of Ramadan, it's not just to let him have that opportunity to just exercise it in the holy month of Ramadan. It's to strengthen him rather even more to exercise it in the remaining 11 months that he has to live in an open life. So that whatever you think was impossible, because for those of us who fast, it comes to that point that you really wish, because of the savings you have made in terms of your spirituality, because of the benefit you have gathered. In fact, for instance, being able to control yourself and prevent yourself from eating food just because food is available is enough to even heal your own body physically.
One thing that has always baffled my mind
Yeah.
is that in Ramadan, you see a drastic change
Surely.
in the Muslim communities.
Yes.
I mean, morality is at its peak, very high. Chain smokers do not smoke. I mean, people who are notorious for certain acts calm down. But why are they not able to sustain it after Ramadan?
That's right. And that is the thing that I'm talking about.
Okay.
So not being able to do it is not because it cannot happen, but it's because we have not accepted to challenge ourselves the way we challenge ourselves during the holy month of Ramadan. And this is not to say that some people don't escape. Some people are able to carry it from the holy month of Ramadan and leave it beyond Ramadan. Definitely along the line, like what I said, the challenges, some of them are social. The people you live with, the friends you have around you, if they happen to be those people who smoke or take those things, you are likely to trip and fall back again. But if you come out of Ramadan and you are able to identify the reasons why things are difficult for you, if I associate myself with these friends or groups, it will affect me. For the period that I was fasting, I wasn't going to the base anymore. I'm able to sustain it or not change different set of people that are found during the month of Ramadan. Because during the month of Ramadan, you go to the tafsir, you go to people who talk to you about Allah. You have changed friends. It's up to you to decide whether you want to maintain those friends or you want to go back to old friends.
Before we go for our first break, let me come to you and ask you this question.
Yeah.
I've read that in the month of Ramadan, all gates leading to heaven are open, and those leading to hell are closed. And Satan and his henchmen are put in shackles. What does it mean to an individual, a fasting individual?
You know, the Almighty Allah, when He created us, He knows us. And He knows the limitations that we have. And as I said earlier on, He had stipulated this month specially for us to get closer to Him. So any other obstacles that will deter us from the course, He pushes it aside. And any motivation that will propel us on to get to that level, He has made it very, very clear for us. An example is, He has opened the gates of Jannah. So if the gates of Jannah are open, the gates of heaven are open, that is the motivation that we need as Muslims, that no, the finish line is there, and the finish line is very, very good, is very, very nice. And the other side is that don't worry, no matter how you struggle, or no matter how you're tired, no matter how difficult it gets, don't worry, the finishing line is there. And to add on to what my uncle earlier said on, Ramadan, in that perspective, is what life a Muslim is supposed to live, and not what he's living now.
No.
So if you have this at the back of your mind, that the Almighty Allah has paved the way of Jannah for us to enter Jannah, then it means that if you're doing something contrary to that, you are doing your own self a disservice.
So you don't necessarily have to pass through it, but it must impact.
It must have impact. It must have impact on your life.
Okay.
It's very, very important.
On this note, let's go for our first break, and then when we return, we will now we have been looking at the spiritual aspect. Now we want to look at social aspect and also developmental aspect of Ramadan. This is Good Evening Ghana, a special edition of Good Evening Ghana dedicated to our Muslim viewers, and I am sitting in for our regular host, Paul Adum Ochri. So let's go for a short break and we'll return soon.
Trasacco Estates, home to Accra's most beautiful and luxurious homes, presents its newest addition, Trasacco Springs, a premium master planned community of service plots surrounded by an exhaustive list of amenities. The gated community of Tema to Accra Motorway presents you the finest opportunity to own a land that suits your preferred size, budget, and payment terms. Trasacco Springs is open to you for development. Our on-site sales executives are ready. Call on 055 659 2658.
And frustrated after meeting all our targets. Company cannot help us with our health needs.
Honestly, they are not helping us. Something has to be done about this.
You see, just yesterday I was at the hospital with my wife, and can you imagine the amount of money being charged? So outrageous.
Relax, guys. Just leave everything to me. Today I will deal with him accordingly.
You have to.
I surely will. Today be today. Sir, you want to leave. We are tired. We've been doing everything possible to ensure the success of this organization, but it looks like our healthcare is not taken into consideration. Am I speaking your mind?
Yes, you are.
And that is not fair.
Get a Cosmopolitan Health Insurance for all your employees today and have an easy life. Call us for your package.
Okay, guys, you are leaving because I have good news for you.
Cosmopolitan Health Insurance, providing the highest levels of coverage possible to our clients.
Oh, say Black Stars, Ghana for you na damwase. Atadwe ya tidenne. Black Stars, Mama ye niya je. Kata 22, yana ye kobie. Black Stars, moya die. Ghana, oh say Ghana, yeah. Kata 22, a High Sense World Cup. Shano High Sense TV so. Now one clear, now what's in a clear. Now I shall no mobile phone so dear. A High Sense mobile phone. And would down and it down. Now per se, who you go ya. Now man will feel it ya. A High Sense home theater. High Sense. Everyday prices for everyday people. High Sense. Official sponsor FIFA Qatar 22 World Cup.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, and welcome back to Good Evening Ghana, live from Metro TV. This is a special edition dedicated to Muslims on Eid Day. Earlier on, my guest in the studio, Alhaji Baba Inusa from Parliament of Ghana, and then also Sheikh Bashir Andrew from Islah Foundation. I've been speaking about the spiritual aspect of Ramadan and how Ramadan is supposed to help you to step up your morality to be able to fit into the society. Now, any of you can pick this one. Why is it that the beginning and the ending of Ramadan is always characterized by controversies? Islamically, how do we begin or commence Ramadan? And also, how do we end Ramadan?
Over to my house first.
Okay, Baba.
I wanted Sheikh to have entered this subject before I will bring my philosophical mind into it, because I just have my little understanding of the teachings of Islam and my own study of religions to understand God Almighty Allah, that He is not a creator of confusion. Allah is not a creator of misunderstanding. If there is any controversy, if there's any misunderstanding, as far as the beginning and the end of Ramadan are concerned, they are human created and generated confusion, but not the confusion or misunderstanding created by Allah and practiced by our holy Prophet Muhammad, who we are supposed to, to emulate. You know, the society in which we live, Sheikh, is a very, very dynamic society. The very life of the human being, from the beginning of creation, the only thing that is quite visible to man is his dynamism. And dynamism which is not his own creation, but the creation of the Creator himself. It's like a baby. A baby does not decide when to start crawling. The baby doesn't decide when to start walking. The baby doesn't decide when to running. But the very nature of the spirit with which he is created, if he refuses to grow, growth will grow it.
Okay.
Because
so
it
comes naturally.
It comes natural. So is very human nature. Understanding it from the little myopic point of an individual to the understanding it of its generic term in terms of what Allah has created. We are sons of Adam. We are not living like Adam today. We are continuum of the creation of Adam and the continuation of the manifestation of who Adam is. As Allah Almighty, the most gracious, created him. So when we accept the true reality of change, that change is something that is constant in the life of the human being because of the very dynamic nature by which he is created. Some of these controversies, my brother, I believe strongly from the bottom of my heart, we can minimize them. In absolute terms. Today, what Almighty Allah has made available to the human being, in terms of the very, I said God created the human being and provided him with a SIM card that is self-graduating. It upgrades itself without anybody removing and changing a SIM, without anybody touching anything. Because we have not yet even used a quarter of what God has put in the brain of the human being. Because the human brain is unfolding. And it will continue to unfold to respond to the changing demands of time as Almighty Allah himself evolves his creation, which is outside our control. And until we accept these realities and add it to our total understanding of Islam and feel like and get to know that there is no world where Muslims are standing somewhere differently created creatures of Allah and other people are standing somewhere differently created creatures of Allah. You are the same creature of Allah in terms of knowledge and everything that Almighty Allah, out of his own abundance of grace, has made available to the human being as a race. And not just to you as a Muslim who has taken the Shahada. So you get to know that our Holy Prophet Muhammad telling us, knowledge is what? Is the lost and wisdom. Lost property
of a Muslim.
Of a Muslim.
Wherever
he encouraged us to seek knowledge, even if it is as far as China. Were they teaching Islam in China? No. Anything, knowledge that will improve and empower the human being to bring out the best of what he has been made of, to be able to make life easy for him. For Allah tells us in the Quran that he wishes us ease, he doesn't wish us difficulty.
No.
And he has provided us with tools with which we can live our lives with ease. And when we choose to abandon these tools and live our lives based on our own egos, based on our own desire to be seen and be felt in a particular way,
So on that basis,
and it brings obstacles to our lives.
I want my answer to come clear.
Yes.
Why do we always start in controversy?
That is where I
and
am
end
coming.
in- okay.
Sheikh, I'm coming there.
Um,
Because we have not accepted that we are not the creators of ourselves. And we are not the creators of knowledge. And we are not the creators of evolution. And that we are part and parcel of evolution. Either you get ready to evolve or you will be evolved.
no.
We are not ready to accept that as creatures of Allah, we are part of the evolution. And because of that, I've seen on so many occasions, and I've read a lot of articles where sometimes people confuse evolution with innovation. These are two different things. When you get to understand the difference between evolution and innovation or creating of things that are not part or were not part, then you begin to get certain things come out clearer.
Yeah.
Like you said,
We have
if we
praise for
can no
time,
longer, technology, I'm just telling you something, technology that God has made available to humankind in this era is so developed to the point that humanity doesn't really have so much. If it has, it is a minimal excuse to say that I cannot tell the first day of Ramadan and the last day of Ramadan if it is the moon that we are going to use to do this business. Humanity has now gone beyond that ability to even predict the period and even on the actual date really observe and see what we want to see, unless of course there is a failure in the processes that we need to go through to be able to arrive at that conclusion. And we here in our part of the world, we don't want to invest in our deen, both in terms of human resource and even in terms of even technology, to be able to make things easier for us. If you want to do it how your great-grandfather did it 100 years ago, why should Almighty Allah be the one who created that confusion? He didn't create it.
Okay,
It is your confusion.
That's clear. You think that to avoid these controversies, we need to, add technology to what we have done.
Yeah.
My friend said to me that the best selling medicine in Ghana is cocoa. It means we have eye problems. How can somebody who eats cassava, fufu, banku, with your naked eye this time around, you want to? We need to, invest in the Hilal committee. We don't have to blame them every now and then.
Yeah,
I
sure.
think we need to invest in them so that they can have those gadgets and then some kind of training.
Sure.
To upgrade their skills so that they can do a good job for all of us. So, Sheikh Kishk, still on the controversies in starting and ending, what is the Sharia ruling, and also what brings about the controversy, and how can we avoid some of these controversies?
You know, as we said earlier on, the Islamic calendar deals with, it's a lunar calendar, and the month is either 29 or 30 days. So when the month reaches the 29th, we go searching for the moon. And then when the moon is sighted, that month ends on the 29th, and then the next day becomes the first day of the new month. But if on the 29th the moon is not sighted, that month is completed 30 days, and then the subsequent day becomes the first day of the new month. Yeah. So the controversy here is on the 29th. So if on the 29th day, for example, you see the moon, and then I say I don't agree with your seeing of the moon, that's where the controversy is. That's it. It's as Honorable said earlier on, is just this misunderstanding between us. I don't agree with your seeing of the moon. So I won't go with yours. I will go with what I think. But then within the Islamic jurisprudence itself, we have two forms of moon sighting. We have the global moon sighting, we have the local moon sighting. The global moon sighting, for example, Ghana here, we can say, if the moon is seen anywhere in the world, we are okay with it. We take it. If the place is credible, the source is credible, we are fine. We'll take it. The other moon sighting is that, no, we will deal with our own moon sighting. It doesn't matter whether Togo sees it or whether Burkina Faso sees it. So long as within the territorial, land of Ghana, nobody sees it or we don't have any reports of it being seen, then we're not going to work. For example, the Saudis have local moon sighting. They only work with the moon sighting of what happens within the Arabian Peninsula. If anywhere else sees the moon, they don't care. They don't work with it.
So why do we then work with that?
That's they have the opinion. The Sharia has given us this flexibility. Either you go with a global moon sighting, or you go with a local moon sighting. For example, this year at the beginning of the Ramadan, the Saudis said they've seen the moon, global moon sighting. But then the National Herald Committee of Ghana said no, they don't work with that. They have not seen the moon, so the fasting is going to begin on Sunday instead of Saturday. That's where the controversy is. So, as Honorable Elias said, it is not the making of the Almighty. It is us. We are the ones who are having all these headaches. But it is clear. And both opinions are right. Those who started the fasting on Saturday based on global moon sighting. It was not only in Saudi Arabia, even Nigeria saw the moon. They are right. And then the National Herald Committee that said, no, we don't work with the global moon sighting. We work with local moon sighting. And the moon has not been seen anywhere in the territories of Ghana. They are also right. Fast forward.
Seriously, my controversy sometimes doesn't have to do with the commencement of fasting.
No.
For instance, this year, we were told that the moon was sighted somewhere in Wa.
No.
If moon is sighted in Wa, the next day we have to go for Eid.
No.
But this is the case, sometimes we prefix the Eid days before the... Now when you talk, you say you are undermining authority and stuff. But going forward, I think that the National Hilal Committee needs to be expanded, and then they need to, if you are a committee, you also need to advise experts to support you so that this controversy would end one day. Let's go for a short break. When we come back, now we'll discuss the National Hilal Committee proper and what we think that the resources they need to be able to perform better, so that going into future we don't see some of these controversies anymore. So let's go for a short break.
To help meet your business and private printing needs successfully, we have just the right products and services. At Appointed Time Printing Limited, we specialize in digital printing, offset printing, packaging and security printing. Our innovative designs and complete professional touch on our print products such as posters, flyers, brochures, magazines, poll cards and any other print solution of your choice ensure that our customers are always happily connected to their audience. With our security printing section, our clients are assured of a highly secured and confidential work correct process from start to finish. At a appointed time, our prices are very, very competitive. Locate us at the old GNTC building near Swansea Shopping Arcade, Accra. Contact us on 0501 454165, 0501 454167. Appointed Time Printing Limited. Our printing is the solution.
Stop that trash. Stop it now. Stop that trash. Stop all that trash. Stop it now. Your girlfriend gives you a new ride, and you go pick your side chick. Are you taking her for a ride? This lifestyle, dear, trash it. If you get dustbin for your place, do the shocky as you trash your waist. You nigga some then hide your face.
Zoom Lion is giving you 1 million bins for free to get rid of your trash. Download the Zoom Lion app now for your free bin, or make trash collection payment, or simply dial *857#. Zoom Lion, your waste management expert.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to the final lap of today's special edition of Eid Good Evening Ghana, courtesy our big brother dedicating today's show to Muslims. We are grateful to Paul Adum Ochri and the management of Metro TV for this wonderful gesture. Now, we've spoken about controversies. So let me start with you. So earlier you mentioned the National Hilal Committee needs to start using technology. That's good. But how do we support them as Muslims to get those sophisticated gadgets and also the needed technology or know-how that is needed to push them forward?
Yeah, thank you very much, Imam, for this good question. Indeed, like we said, the National Hilal Committee is us, and it is our responsibility. And whatever it needs in terms of even getting improved technological equipment to be able to assist us. But I have a personal view that we don't need to reinvent the wheel. And we don't need to be worrying about ourselves about creating things which other people have already suffered to make them available and to make them easy. I'm quite sure in my heart and in my mind, and from my understanding of the teaching of the Prophet, the moon is the moon.
Okay.
There are no local moons and there are no global moons. There are no local sun and global sun. There is just one particular moon. So I'm just talking about me. My understanding of Sumu Liru'yatikum is a global message. And to understand it and to be ready to work with it, gone are the days when there was no globalization, that message that you could call global was supposed to receive, you were supposed to receive that message through a letter being written to you. Today, no.
That will take months.
That's what I'm saying, that when we get to realize that as Ummah of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, we are part of the evolution God himself has created. And for every single step that he opened the brain for us to utilize, both its problems and solutions are provided. Understand life that way and it will become easier, because he will never burden you with a challenge that you can not carry. So when we accept it and when we appreciate it, we have to find a way of mobilizing both our human, material, and financial resources as a people to empower the people in whose hands we have entrusted our faith and our spiritual exercise to enable us serve as well. Nobody asks about the Hilal Committee as soon as this period is over. But I am telling you, what I'm talking to you about, do you know that we have passed that stage? I'm just telling you something from technology.
Yes.
We have passed that stage in technology where you can no longer tell which day is the 29th and which day is 30. With the help of science and technology, the Ummah or humanity has passed that stage. But because we have not opened our ears and our mind to it, we are still holding on to the old understanding. It is true that during the lifetime of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, the lunar was known to be acting on 29 or 30. But what was difficult to establish was which one will be the 29 and which particular year will be the 30. But today, because of the evolution of science and technology, the lunar has been studied to the point that what is science is observation. The moon has been observed for its appearance and disappearance over the years. And it has come to a well-known knowledge that if January is 29, February is going to be 30, and March will be 29, and April will be 30. Knowledge we have acquired up to present day has established that this is the behavior of the moon. So, Sheikh, if you know January will be 29 and February will be 30, I can tell you, you can predict what December is going to be. I'm just saying this is where science and technology has brought us to the level of getting closer to the moon. And you can doubt it. Do you know what I tell people? You and I will sit here, the same man who is making this study and observation call you and I and tell us that on the 25th of June at 11 a.m., 25 seconds before this, the moon will begin to eclipse the sun. And we'll go and buy cameras on that day, that time, that minute, that second, we all see that thing starting.
Very, very interesting analysis.
And
so can we use the same?
Today that same person with that knowledge that he's spent years and ages to do, because you are only interested in the moon and the what do you call it? Because of Ramadan. Somebody is interested in it because he wants to control mass. Somebody is on daily basis. He is studying its behavior and characteristics, and he has come to this knowledge and understanding of it, which is beneficial even to the Muslim Ummah. That's why today most people don't even understand most of the calendars. Let me tell you, I'm going to reveal a secret here. Every year before we observe Night of Power, in the last 11 years, I can tell when the 27th day of Ramadan will be since 2011. And I'll fix the date 2 months before. And I'll write letters to the speaker. I know sometimes members of the Muslim caucus, because what I'm using, this Ummah is not yet there and is not ready to see it as a knowledge made available to us.
But I think you have to sell this idea to the National Hilal Committee. If they bought into the idea, it will help all of us. Before we entered studio, I put this question on social media. So why is there confusion every year about when Ramadan starts and ends? And I have interesting comments here. Abdullah Mahmoud said, the religious scholars want to be in harmony with politicians, and they can't act on what they know. What they know is right. Then Vandal Abdurrahman, this guy I believe was my former student in Kufuridia, said, the problem is with Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah because they will agree with the Hilal Committee on what to do and then do something else. Then we have Samad Goyun Dudu. Samad Goyun Dudu should be from Kwame Danso. If I may ask, If I may ask, this moon that has been sighted today, can someone tell me how many days is that place? I mean, I'm reading what they wrote. This one, somebody said something, that one there, please, I can't mention this. Then I have Yumni Riba Ibn Yumbohi. Hey, this is a very... If our leaders come to conclusion that we should follow Saudi, fine. If they come to conclusion that we should sight the moon in Ghana, fair enough, but they don't talk about it. Then Yusuf Hassan said, you are always putting questions to us. You two are among the imams, well-known imams in Accra. Can you also say your view for us to judge you? And you, I know, we're supposed to pray yesterday, so tell me why you yourself prayed today. This is a person. I will meet you after the program to tell you. Then the last two, there are many. The last two I want to read. Muhammad Babangida Dankasa. It is really annoying and nauseating. This guy has big words. To say the least, our ulama must do something before it gets out of control. Some people even started 4 days before everyone. What is that? And then the last one is from Bintu Jenny. Imam, this matter, in this day and age where technology is being the everything. So then somebody said, due to political influence, others are saying politics. So the last one, okay, let me say, Nas Ghana. Sheikh, you should have written some thesis about that. Anyway, so you see, I sample different and you see their opinion. So, Sheikh Kish, so much for the Hilal committee. I think they need support. They also need to open up the fragmentation of the duplication of Hilal committee. It is not helping us. That is wal Jama'ah have it, the National Hilal Committee, the Ambaria Sunnah community, and I know some platforms, powerful platforms, and it is all not helping us. Going forward, we think we need to look at this. Now, in Ramadan, there is a whole lot of social intervention. I mean, the poor and the rich need to take good care of the poor. Zakat al-Fitr, Zakat itself, and I know Baba would like to speak on all this Zakat issue, because as a vice president of the National Zakat and Tarakat Trust Fund, I will give you the opportunity to say something. So why did the professor emphasize on the need to take care of the poor and needy during this period?
Before I come to that, one of the comments was an attack on Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah, and I think we as a member of, I must make it clear that Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah is not the part of the Hilal Committee, National Hilal Committee. Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah boycotted the Hilal Committee. So it's not as if the Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah agrees with the Hilal Committee and then they disagree with the Hilal Committee, just by the way.
But all they are saying is that, for instance, Alama Saudi is a sect, sectionalism is the cause. And we, the followers, see the sect leaders to always right in making decisions, especially in Ramadan and Eid issue. Politics can also be a cause.
Sectionalism is not a problem because it's clear. If we declare that we've seen the moon and that we've ended the Ramadan, but then we are not going to pray tomorrow, we're going to pray the next day. There are a lot of people who joined Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah to pray on Monday, and then they are not Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah. So it has got nothing to do with sectionalism or sectarianism. I believe that leadership, Muslim leadership in Ghana.
I was told in a shaman at Kamisco Mosque, there was near stampede, seriously. Near stampede. Because people were,
people now really understand Islam. It has got nothing to do whether you belong to this set or you belong to this set. I believe that going forward in solving some of these problems, why doesn't the Muslim leadership petition government to give us a 2-day holiday when it comes to Eid al-Fitr? It solved the problem. But then if we always prefix the date of Eid, we will always be faced with these challenges. And obviously, Muslims in Ghana are very, very important, and then the government must come to our Eid grounds and stuff like that. Yes, we need that. And the government has to announce a holiday 5 days before it. So if we let the government understand that ours is either 29th or 30th, if you're going to go by the old method of looking for the moon, then we have that 2 days. And government is made aware. And then all these controversies, is solved. But then if we always say, we don't know, and we have not invested in technology, why don't the Hilal Committee of Ghana, liaise with government? And one of the observatories that government have, we use it. Don't you have an observatory at Kuntunse?
Or maybe,
we have that.
Or maybe Muslims, some section of Muslims might think that our leadership will give them a window. So that no matter the day you start, you can get a window so that we all, pray.
It's important that leadership sits and then thinks about that. Okay. Back to the social intervention. Okay. Islam is a religion of brotherhood. Islam doesn't want a member of the community to lag behind. If the hand is sick, the whole body nurses the hand. So it's not appropriate on the day of Eid that Muslims are going to Eid and then your neighbor doesn't have a dress to wear, or your neighbor doesn't have food. So Islam stipulated all these forms of almsgiving and charity in the month of Ramadan so that people who are financially handicapped or people who are not financially stable can join in the Eid and also celebrate. So all these things are put in place. And the encouragement is so spiritually uplifting that if you give a banana or a date to someone who is fasting, you also share in the reward of the fasting person without that fasting person's reward being reduced. And you also get a bonus. So it's so beautiful that Islam's idea of social intervention is that the community should be raised to the level whereby nobody will sleep at night thinking of what he's going to eat tomorrow or what he's going to wear tomorrow. So that's the idea behind Sadaqah and Zakat. And I want to help my uncle, Honorable Muhammad Idris, on this beautiful idea of Sadaqah and Zakat in Ghana. Yeah. Let's all of us join, because that idea is so profound that during the time of Umar ibn Abdul Aziz, Zakat was available that there was no poor person in the community. Zakat was available that there was no bachelor and spinster, everybody was got married. Zakat was so available that people who are indebted had their debts being paid. Zakat was so available that people who had slaves and they wanted to free the slaves had money from the Islamic bank to give out. So why don't we help? If you have an institution like the Muslim Caucus in Parliament spearheading this, social intervention, let's all help. Let's all come on board. Let's dip our hands in our pocket and support this cause. The idea is that we don't want to see a Muslim lag behind. We must commend the Muslim leadership in Parliament for taking something up like this.
Sure. Baba, we don't have much time, but I think that maybe Muslims are very stable during Ramadan. Yeah. Do you think we can take advantage of this stability and humility of Muslims to look at development in future?
Sure. Because when we talk about development, what is it that we are talking about? Development could be human. Development could be material. Development could be even social. Development could be educational. And it is indeed within this period that the human being gets to settle in himself a bit and become a little bit reflective of who he is in reality, in relation to others or the society in which he lives. And indeed there is a potential in the month of Ramadan for the idea of brotherhood and being there for each other that we generate in the month of Ramadan. We are able to use it to create something that can fix sometimes some of these problems that we have. Like my brother just spoke about Zakat and Sadaqah Trust Fund. Because we spend much more time Sometimes because we spend so much time even talking about zakat, in fact, we don't know the power of sadaqah.
No.
We don't even appreciate the power of sadaqah. And I said something this afternoon on DTV, and I want to repeat it here. We are playing with statistics, and yet we don't appreciate the value of statistics. Sheikh, today we sit down here and we crave for what numbers we have been given to by the statistical service. Whether it is 17% or 19% or whatever percentage that you call it, it takes you to between 5 to 6 or more than 6 million single human beings called Muslims living in this country.
Mm-hmm.
You and I, knowing where we come from and the community we live, maybe about a quarter of our people don't fall into this particular census, even not even half of them usually don't fall in this particular census because they don't see its importance. They will not even be available for this exercise to be done. But for planning reason, everybody is supposed to take statistics serious. You see, we have come out with the One City Sadaqah app.
Yeah.
Supposing you and I even agree that whatever 17%...
people were here in your absence.
Surely.
Yes, and we gave them the opportunity.
The platform does it.
Yes, but next time we'll take money.
No problem. No, I'm sure by that I would have gathered the money to be able to pay. You know, and thank you for the generosity. You know, Sheikh, as a student of philosophy, I was taught that number is meaningless until it is related to something.
Mm-hmm. It makes impact.
Number. If you say we are 6 million, we are 17%, 19%, it means nothing. If you say 1, it's value. Look, if I say 1, the word 1 is value. In itself is equivalent to me saying 1 billion.
Mm-hmm.
1 billion means nothing. Unless I'm able to say one.
But if I don't leave this place,
let me just land. Yeah. 1 billion oranges makes sense. 1 orange makes sense. So, if you understand the power of statistics and you are able to relate it to something, if I get to know I have 6 million Muslims living in this country, and we are able to convince ourselves, looking at the numerous challenges we have in terms of education, in terms of health, and we tax ourselves that every month, every household should give a sadaqah of 1 Ghana cedi on the head of every human being living in Ghana as Muslim in his home. If you are a father, you have 2 children, it means you are paying 3 cedi at the end of every month. If you are alone, you are just paying just 1 Ghana cedi. I am telling you.
We'll push the agenda forward. Yes. Yeah, it's not a joke. If we buy into this idea, it will
Check. We have 6 million Ghana cedi every month belonging to Ghanaian Muslim. It's from that angle that statistics will make sense. I'm landing on his development because you don't develop with empty hands.
No, I'm even taking my question back because you do not have enough time. So please, can you give me your final word? Because actually we don't.
My final word, fellow brothers and sisters in Islam, let's begin to think and accept that we are part and parcel of this macro organism called universe. We are not living in isolation. And every knowledge that is available on this earth is not a knowledge belonging to any particular citizen or a nation. It's a knowledge of mankind. That whatever we can pick out of it that is good to improve upon our lives and to better the way we even worship Allah, because that knowledge was already given by Allah so that it will be easier for us to be able to relate to Him. Let's begin to think in that line, and it will push us towards solving most of the problems that we have.
Your final word.
Ramadan exposed us to our powers and our strength. We prayed, we fasted, we gave charity. It means that outside Ramadan, we can still do these things. It's very, very important that we continue from where we left off in the month of Ramadan. Today shouldn't be, or yesterday shouldn't be the day that we go back into our old cloaks, and from there we can step higher and be able to realize these dreams that the Sadaqah and Zakat Trust Fund of Ghana has for us.
I want to thank you, viewers, for having time to be with us. Let me end with this quotation from the Quran. إن الله لا يغير ما بقوم حتى يغيروا ما بأنفسهم. God will not or does not change the circumstance and condition of the people unless they are ready to accept the change or they change it themselves. We know our problem. We have talked about marginalization. We have talked about fragmentation. Not until we are ready to close our ranks and to focus on development in future, we will continue to be at where we are. I want to make a special appeal to the Muslim Ummah. Metro TV has been very, very generous over the past 2 decades to Muslims. Now, if you see this studio and others, see that a lot of money has been invested, and we cannot continue to be on generosity or fi sabilillah. In addition to Metro TV, we have Original TV and Original Radio. Management is ready to sacrifice time for us, but we have to pay for it. Look at Ramadan series. It was paid by Executive Chairman Dr. Sian Ejapon and Zoom Lion. This man is not a Muslim. God bless him. Paul Adumochi, our senior colleague. The Muslims in Ghana are grateful for this time you dedicate to us. One thing you don't know about Paul Adumochi, outside all this controversy, is that Paul has been very, very generous, and he is somebody, when he entered these premises, everybody is happy. And he gives without, looking at anything. This year in Ramadan, he dipped his hand in his pocket at the beginning. I won't disclose the amount he gave me, and it was that day I was full of smiles. Paul, thank you very much. May the Almighty Allah continue to make you greater than expected. Viewers, if you have enjoyed this program, join the real hosts on Thursday for yet another interesting edition of Good Evening Ghana. My name is Abbas Umar Abdul Karim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.